Hi. If you want to be not boring in conversations, I'm here to teach you how to get rid of it. Because if you're going to have conversations with family members, especially during annual gatherings like Chinese New Year, you haven't met them for a year, you don't really know what's happened to them, and you want to, reconnect with them. These are great tips on how to do that. And you can also use these same tips if you are going for a job interview, maybe, trying to close a deal. Tip number one is to engage your brain. So our brains are like little children, they are looking for things which are interesting. And if you notice in school, at classrooms, and if the teacher goes on and it's so factual, the children will tend to just drift away. And that's what happens when you're having a boring conversation. So what you're going to do is turn on that switch in the brain so that you can engage the brain on something very interesting, something memorable, something totally opposite, something that they need to think and they are very excited about. So why do humans do what they do? Why do they get bored in conversations? Because we are guilty of using standard social scripts. So what are standard social scripts? For example, I'm guilty of using the sentence, "How are you? What have you been doing? How's your job?" So these are standard conversation starters. And in Malaysia, we tend to use "Jiak baboy," have you eaten? So it has nothing to do with whether it is the daytime, nighttime. So these are conversation starters, but after a while, conversations can turn out to be boring because there's nothing much to say besides saying that I've eaten, or I'm working in this company, or I'm good, and the conversation stops. So what I can suggest to you, something that engages the brain. For example, besides work, what are your passion projects? What makes you excited, on the weekends? What do you look forward to on the weekends? Or you can say, what's the best part of your week so far? So this kind of conversation triggers will make the other person think, what's so interesting about my week this week? And you will never know what kind of conversation you'll get yourself into and how interesting the conversation will be. So that leads to my secret number 2. Expand your circle of influence. So I'm an introvert person by nature, especially during the COVID pandemic days. Being at home, not talking to anyone, that is the best time of my life because I can focus on what I do and I just really enjoy doing that. But as pandemic is waning off and it's time to go back to normal life, to the norm, and it's time to meet people, that really freaks me out. So one of the secrets that I want to share with you is to expand your circle of influence. It's easy to be categorized into a certain type. For example, going to high school, then going to university, then going to a job that you may be working for the next 20, 30 years. So your group of friends or people that you mingle with are mostly your high school friends, your college friends, your university friends, and maybe your workmates. So it can come to be your life could be very predictable, meaning your circle of friends are of that nature and things go around within that circle of what you're familiar with. So what I learned from this is to try to expand your circle of influence. For example, you can expand your network by being friends with for example, if you're a mom like me, that means get to know your children's friends, their parents, or join the school parents association to know more parents, or for example, get to know your neighbors more, join a Zumba community to expand your social network, or even join Toastmasters. So these are the avenues that you can find to get to know other people more and expand your social network. So for people, an introvert like me, going out of the comfort zone, it's really a scary thing, and it's a very uncomfortable thing. In fact, I have to make extra effort just to get out of my comfort zone. I slowly start to feel more comfortable at it as I push myself out of this comfort zone. And I meet people from various walks of life. I realize that the world isn't as small as I think, and there are many people from various interests and many things that I never know about, and I learn so much from them. And I find that when I have conversations with them and then back to my own colleagues or my high school friends, I tend to have more topics that I can talk about because I expose myself to people from different experiences and I have more to share. And that makes a conversation very interesting and colorful. Secret number 3 is to raise the energy. If you notice people with high positive energy, what do they have in common? Most likely they have certain habits that they prime themselves, especially early in the morning, and you can adopt this kind of same habits as them. For example, when you start your day, especially if you go to work, you need to put on makeup, you need to dress up for work, and you get yourself ready. And that's the external part of you, where you get yourself ready, you prime yourself for going out to meet someone. But what's more important is priming yourself inside. That means that you get yourself mentally ready inside. You peak yourself, especially early in the morning. That means you raise your energy to the highest level, especially when you just wake up in the morning. So what you can do, exercises that I realized is that I played music like turning on the radio early in the morning, and it's so refreshing because it plays happy songs and it really perks up the mood for the morning. And that's a very simple way of how to turn up the energy levels in your body. And another way that some people do is to pray, or if you're not somebody who is religious, and maybe you can practice affirmations in the morning, meaning that you think about what is good in your life, what you are thankful for, being surrounded with family that you love, being surrounded by friends who care about you, and just having a family with you, your children, your spouse, and that's a lot to be grateful for. When you do that, you feel that you have so much more in life, and when you start your day feeling positive, you carry the energy to everybody throughout the day. So when you peak your energy early in the morning, and as you go through the day, your energy will slowly wane. And when you pass on this energy to the people around you, people tend to be attracted to other people with positive energy. So in summary, there are 3 points on how not to be boring in conversation. The first point is to engage their brains. That means you ask them something that triggers them. For example, what are their passions and what is the best part of their week? These are the topics that will trigger the human brain to think about it and be excited talking about it. So the second thing is to expand your circle of influence. That means you go out of your comfort zone and meet with more people. So if for an introvert like me, it's so difficult to really go out and reach out to people, for you, I think it might be an easier task. So if you meet with more people, you have more experiences, more things to share, and you'll find that life will be more interesting. And number 3 is to raise your energy levels. And you can do that the first thing in the morning by practicing certain habits like tuning up the radio or engaging in prayer. Practice gratitude in the morning, what you're thankful for, what are your goals for the week. These are kind of habits that will prep you up so that you can carry this energy towards the people around you and make yourself a very attractive person, not externally but internally, and this positive energy will attract people to come to you. So with that, I hope that my sharing will help you in your daily lives, and if you really enjoy this sharing, you can comment on the comments below. Smash on that like button, and I hope to see you in my next video.